Is recording? Yeah, yes it is. Guys, Wagner, I don't know if you can hear me. It's very noisy in the background. This is Boston Public Library. You can see the statue of Artemis and her son, who apparently Artemis was impregnated by Zeus, and Zeus was because the Greeks used to have many gods, but there was one chief god, and that's where the Hebrews eventually got monotheism. But chief among the gods in the Greek pantheon of gods. Pantheon means the house of the gods. So anyway, the well, but actually that's not what I'm recording about. The reason I'm talking. I wanted to discuss the issue of UFOs, unidentified flying objects, which is very fascinating, very interesting. And I'm doing, well, I wouldn't tell you that I've done extensive research, but I read about it. And it seemed to me that most of what it has been reported as unidentified flying objects. Well, I don't know most. I don't know if the statistics, but I would say that many of them are actually terrestrial. They are not from another planet or another universe or another stellar system or anything like that. Although that's a clear possibility in some cases where we cannot explain for example, aeronautical point of view. Um, they perform maneuvers that current airplanes cannot perform. Well, in case of sightings, uh, pilots, commercial and military, there is thousands of sightings of unexplainable flying phenomena. Now, whether they are from another civilization or planet or not, I would say I don't know. I don't know. But for the most part, there are many that aren't. That they can very clearly attributed to experiments that the United States conducting in other countries, Russia or whatever, what China is doing now, nobody knows. Mm. So anyway, they had the same flag. Well, I had the experience of having seen one, but I don't think that it was extraterrestrial. I think it probably was made in MIT, someplace where I live, in Boston. Because I saw this flying thing, okay, interestingly, over the Museum of Fine Arts here in Boston, 190. And well, but it was very tangible. It wasn't like it didn't look to me like something from extraordinary. What it did surprise me is that it's flying right on top of the museum, on top of the city, you know. I, because if any experiment from MIT or BU or all these universities, um, well, they have to get clearance from the government to conduct these experiments. And maybe it was, but very unusual. It was, it, I was going to say changing shape, but it wasn't changing shapes. It maintained the shape, but how can I tell you? It was flying. It was flying. Okay, it was flying, but it wasn't. It didn't have wings. But I think it didn't look. For me, it didn't look extraterrestrial at all. It looked like oh, because that's the other thing. Because there are plenty of drones. We got plenty of drones. So these kids know this. And they're full of universities. Where I live right now on the Boston part of that. And you know what? They got all surrounded by universities. And what do they do? What do the kids do? I was talking recently. I think they're just take over there. Have a conversation with them. But actually, eh, the yeah, well, that's what I have to talk about UFOs. What is the U stand for? Unexplained flight objects. No, I seen one. I seen one, but as I explained, I don't think it was extraterrestrial at all. But however, if you research the subject, UFOs, a lot of literature, a lot of filming, including from official sources like NASA, and well, NASA has plenty of footage of things that are unexplainable. Now, because they aren't unexplainable, it doesn't mean that it's a extraterrestrial civilization. It could be. It could be. But, so you have the UFO hunters, everything they see, they're ready to meet us. Like George Orwell 1984 movie. That's very significant. I recommend everybody to watch it. I'm not watching it. George Orwell. Well, it's a novel, it's not a movie. So, uh, however, if you take into consideration just our galaxy, okay. Well, start, yeah, start with our galaxy. Uh, how many? About a billion stars, right? About galaxy, the Milky Way is about I don't know how many billion stars. Now, if you think not every star, but many of the stars have planets around them. Not everyone, but and besides, the stars go to different phases. You have young stars, you have mature stars, perhaps our sun. Our star is adolescent. I think it's adolescent. Not think about it. It's probably. Our sun is adolescent, which means it's wild. Because we have all of the time what is called solar flares. So all of a sudden, what is supposed to be stable star in other words, what is the difference between a stable star and unstable star? What is a star to begin with? A star is, yeah, a star is a star. Okay? Yeah. So the star is actually similar to an atom, but what's going on is that it's a nuclear bomb, it's a nuclear explosion, it's a constant nuclear explosion. That's where we get radiation, that's where we get solar light, because it's a constant nuclear explosion. Excuse me, yeah. The sun is a continuous nuclear explosion. Yes, it is. If you study a little bit, find out this sun is a constant. That's what I tell you to put sunscreen. You're to the beach. Because you're going to get exposed. So, and our son is in adolescence. It's an adolescent son, which, like an adolescent child or human, is unpredictable. Adolescents are unpredictable. So, that's what it's called the solar flares. All of a sudden, boom, it disrupts all the radars, disrupts all communications. It's called solar flares. And everybody knows about it. I don't know everybody. The astronomers know about it. So, anyway. Well, I'm going to cut it short now because I have to go to lunch. But I'm gonna tell you more later about what's going on in the outer atmosphere and what the atmosphere is and all of that. Okay, love you, bye.